Hey, how's it going today, everybody? Today is Tuesday, the day after Monday Night Football. We had a doubleheader last night. Hope you all week one. I hope week one went well for you guys. It did pretty good for me. I know a lot of things went south for a lot of people. Um, Me personally, I mean, I guess it was all right. Like I said, anytime if you finish in the green a dollar more than you invested, it's been okay because you didn't lose. Um, for those of us who lost, let's just try to rebound. And this next week, I'm just gonna do a quick overcap of what happened. Just a quick recap, a freestyle recap. Um, Before I jump into it, listen here. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Like, subscribe. I have social media links. You can follow me there. We have groups and things of that nature is in the description. So hopefully you guys can join along with the discussion. Jumping right into the games. What a subtle week. But that's football. And I was listening to a lot of podcasts. With podcasts, I listen to podcasts, but I kind of like I stay firm on my people or my picks or my direction, whatever my plan is that week. I stick with it because I don't always have a plan. I might have some plays locked this week, and I'll say, I don't always have locks. Sometimes I might have a plan, and this week I might have a plan, and then I'll follow that. I do what I'm going to do. Um, a lot of people have rules and things like that. I don't set rules in stone. I do what I'm going to do that week, and move on from it. I scatter my shots, when I can, if I'm able, and that just about sums it up. Like I said, I listen to podcasts and things like that. I gather information throughout the week. I don't fumble with lineups all day, every day. It kind of messes up things, So I get all my mental notes together that week. And when it's time to prepare lineups, that's when I go ahead and prepare lineups and I leave them. So I don't even push lineups in until Sunday morning, Thursday night, Thursday evening, and Sunday morning. That's when I start locking folks in. But everybody can't do that because some people do more lines than others. But that's another story. There's a couple things that I do. Let's get right into talking about just some standouts. Nothing major. I'm not going to do anything major. I'm never not doing anything major. So with that being said, the first night I'll tell you about this first. Like I said and then another thing about the podcast, I listen to them. That don't mean I have to follow whatever, and same with you all. You listen to it. Sometimes it gives you an idea where the mass, because a lot of people listen to podcasts and read articles and things like that. Don't get me wrong, they're all great. I even do it. They're all great. It's all good information, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for putting your own lineup, in your entry, and you have to live with that. About between 80 and 90% of the information was out there was like, just go ahead and fade this game and, we'll take one. You know how Thursdays are. Sometimes you got to sneak in there, and we'll get to that later on when I show you some of my lineups from this weekend. But, I mean, I looked at this game, Kansas City, New England. I was already going to bet on it on Bovada. My buddy gave me a call. Shout out to Justin. he gave me a call, about betting, and I already placed the bet. I bet on Kansas City. I'm an underdog type of guy anyway. I guess that's how I roll. Anyway, a good game. It was an all right game. Kansas City won, and there were some bright spots with Hunt, Hill. Unfortunately, Hill got hurt. I probably could have made a couple more extra bucks if he didn't get hurt. I wasn't on any of the New England players. I kind of figured, my thing was I didn't take a shot at Alex Smith, and I really regret that, and you'll see that later on in the segment. Moving along, the Oakland game was a game that I really liked. The outcome didn't come. It didn't play out like I thought it would. I didn't have many shares of DeMarco Murray, but I did think he was going to have a good game, and that proved me wrong. On the Oakland side, Delaney Walker and Marcus Mariota were the guys that I was really on, and they didn't perform like I thought they would. On the other side of the ball, the Oakland, I like both sides of the ball here, and I just had to stay away from the Oakland running game because I couldn't pinpoint. I couldn't nail anything down, so nothing looked sexy to me there. But I liked Amari Cooper, and he did all right. Moving over to the Atlanta-Chicago games is a game that I really want. The Atlanta side of the ball, I really wanted to stay away from. Pretty much a lot of the chalk I really wanted to stay away from, and I did that as well. So I didn't really think that they were going to come in. I'm from Chicago. I didn't think they was going to come in and hammer us, and we could have. Chicago Bears could have played better. We suffered an injury to Kevin White. That's nothing new, and we got some bright spots that we will get to. If not this video, the next video where we break down the next slate and point out our likes and everything else. So I'm moving over to the next game, that Baltimore game. I'm very disappointed. I wasn't on anyone from Baltimore. I was actually on AJ Green. He was like one of my favorite picks. He really disappointed me. The Pittsburgh side of things, another team that I was not really on. I couldn't really pinpoint who. I kind of knew Antonio Brown would have a good game, but the running back situation was like Bell. I couldn't really get jiggy with it. I don't know, man. I couldn't get jiggy with it. I really wanted to go around what I wanted to do this week, and I'll get to it later on. I wanted to go around the corner on things, like try to get away from the chalk. But moving over to the Arizona game, same thing with the Arizona, especially DJ. I didn't play him. I think I put him in one lineup. That was it. Whatever he done is what he done. But I kind of missed something here, and I know it was like really my fault. I had a Detroit stack. I played it on DraftKings. How can I not? How can I not be invested more in Matthew Stafford? I mean, like, come on, man. All these guys do is pass. This game was. I'm very disappointed I wasn't heavy invested in Matthew Stafford, but so be it. On the Arizona side of things, like I said, I was not on DJ. I tried him once, and I do multiple lineups and things like that. I tried him once, and then that was about it. I was more on Fitzgerald, and that was that. Houston and Jacksonville. Wasn't too many people that was on in this game, but I was big on Jacksonville defense last week, Houston defense, and the Rams defense, and Buffalo defense. Those were the four defenses that I played. I should have had more. I actually had more Houston defense. I didn't have as much Jacksonville defense, but they helped me get in the money in the line in the lineup that I played them with. Philadelphia and Washington. This is a game that I was probably spot on with. I liked Ertz. I liked Wentz, and I didn't want to go farther than that. I just wanted to stick with those two guys, and they didn't disappoint me. On the Washington side of things, I didn't like anything about that, and I stayed away from it. Uh, um, Moving over to the Jets in Buffalo, this was a game that I only wanted a piece of the defense in Buffalo, so I had a nice share of Buffalo defense. Okay, Sports Center. Moving over to the Colts and the Rams, that defense, this I had my eyes on Gurley and the Rams defense. I had a fair share of them. So what really hurt me this game was the blowout factor. Gurley didn't get his full workload, and that really hurt me in DFS. I had a chance to make a lot more money than I made, and it's just unfortunate, but it just wasn't my time to make to make more money. Moving over to the Seattle and Green Bay. I mean, Seattle, their offensive line is still looking a mess. Separation, I didn't see good separation from the receivers and things like that in that game. But it's game one, it's week one, things happen. Hopefully, I know everybody's looking to bounce back. Then on the Green Bay side of things, it was hard. I liked Randall Cobb in this one, and I liked Baldwin on the Seattle side of things. Neither one of them showed up like I thought they would, and the game didn't even go like I thought it would. But I know Seattle has been having offensive line problems, and for those reasons, I was out. I didn't have too many shares of those guys. Moving over to the Carolina and San Francisco, I really liked Cam Newton. I really liked Benjamin, and he really disappointed me in my lineups, man. I was on him, 3 receivers that I really liked was Benjamin, Fitzgerald, and A.J. Green this week, and I didn't really, man. I wish they would have came through for me, but I had a nice share of Benjamin at that mid tier, around 60-something, 100 on FanDuel. I mean, what can I say, man? Looked like Jonathan Stewart had a pretty nice game. On the San Francisco side of the ball, I actually thought they was going to move the ball and put up some points, which they didn't. And for those reasons, I don't know. But they probably suck. They probably don't. The Giants in that Sunday night game, I actually had some interest in Brandon Marshall once the news broke out that whatever his name is, Beckham wasn't playing, and so that kind of threw a monkey wrench in the game. Brandon Marshall didn't do so well. I liked Zeke. I didn't play him too much. I actually didn't play too many people. I liked the kicker, so I had my fair shares of the kicker from Dallas. I forget his name, but he was on my radar all day, and I put him in like 90% of my lineups. And so there you have it. A quick recap of my lineups. What I did last week. Well, okay, we'll kick it off with this one right here. This is a lineup that I sat in. This is a Thursday to Sunday lineup that I sat in. I sat in like third place for like 1,000 up until late last night, them 2 Monday night games, and when Stafford decided he wanted to go Superman, and they came and knocked me down a few spots. But overall, I finished 6th for $300 in the Thursday to Monday, which was great. Really, that was really good. Like I said, some of the guys that I were on, the funny thing was the Hunt and Tyreek Hill. Those guys, I did only 2 lineups. I doubled down. I had these guys in both lineups and I doubled down on these guys, but I was iffy, man, and I just doubled down on Mariota as well. But I should have, in one of these lineups, I should have went ahead and took um, the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. Oh man, I forget his name. Alex Smith. I should have switched him and won. That was just an amateur mistake. But from pretty much, for the most part, all the guys that I was on, like I was telling you guys, I really have them in my lineup, and that's key. Sticking, most of the guys didn't perform like AJ Green. He totally shit on my damn lineup. He still got out almost 10 fantasy points, but he shitted on it, and then he didn't. It wasn't too bad. I mean, he shitted on my thoughts because I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna have a better game than that, but it is what it is. It just wasn't my time. Delaney Walker, he reached double digits, so be it. But if you guys were paying attention to that Rams game, this is really where it hurt because the blowout factor, and he just didn't get his full. Todd Gurley didn't get his full workload, and so there was a lot of things going on wrong with this lineup. Moving over here to the Sundays, that $7 entry, I threw in how many entries? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries into there. So I went 7 for 8. So that was pretty nice. I went 7 for 8 in that contest. So that was pretty nice. Moving on to next week, we got some very nice games on the slate. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'll go into a few things, but I'm not going to go all the way into it right now. I can just say there's some juicy games this week. The scores might be higher this week. It's early. Start nailing it down. Injuries happened. Pay attention to who's coming back. Gather information throughout the week and find you some value. We know who's going to be chalk. We can look at Vegas lines. We can look at a lot of things. These juicy matchups. Nail down your chalk players. Nail down your value. We know who's going to be chalk. Anybody can help your lineups out. Find out some good matchups, and like I said, I don't really tinker around with the lineups like on the app. All day just trying to fit people in and things like that because it really throws me off. I don't know about you guys, but it throws me off. I'd rather collect data, not so much as data. I'd rather collect information, and meditate on my matchups and things like that throughout the week. And like I said, I listen to podcasts. I don't get hung up in the numbers like that. Some people have to. Some people, probably, don't even look at numbers and things like that. But a lot of that comes from knowing your personnel. So, that's big in DFS. If you know your personnel, then you have an edge. You have an edge. So that's key. You know what I'm saying? Knowing your personnel. Just a few things I wanted to point out, to you guys, man. I'm not no goddamn expert or nothing like that. I'm probably one of the worst players, but I'm working towards getting better each and every day, each and every week. And but yeah, weather, pay attention to everything. But there's some very nice games. You got Green Bay and Atlanta. That's a game that'll be on my radar. possibly the Rams and Washington. So I don't even, man. This Miami Chargers game. You got Oakland and Jets, Dallas, and you got Chicago Bears and Tampa Bay, New England and New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? You got some really nice options here, to choose from. The Cardinals and the Colts with the injury to David Johnson. Find your value, So it's some things to look forward to. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for the next podcast. Me and my boy Ming Lee will be pointing out some of our favorite plays coming up. And there you have it. Just trying to keep things at a minimum right now. And that was just a quick freestyle, starting this Monday coming up, man, that's when my schedule gets really, really tough. All the way from, I'll say this 18th, all the way up until mid-November. So my schedule is going to get really, really hectic. And hopefully I'll be able to chime in with you guys. Like I said, like, subscribe. I'll try to hit you guys with a lineup or two, especially going into Thursday, and we'll see what happens, between now and then. Stay on top of your toes, guys. Like I said, gather information, man. Don't wreck your brain. Make this fun. Let's get this money. And with that being said, like, subscribe, and I'm out.